Okay, another video on unlocking ultimate power in the body. So to summarize the last video, to unlock ultimate power, you need to understand the nature of awareness, which you can do analogically through water. Water is a perceptual substance that is both passive and responsive and conforms to the way reality is, and it's also capable of enveloping reality or being the space of reality, just like awareness or just like being. Um, so ultimate power is you have to be a master of awareness, master of being, which you already are. As soon as you can connect analogically the nature of water and your experience and your practice and your discipline with water, drinking it every day, looking towards it, having a thirst for it, um, potentially swimming in it, cleansing yourself with it, becoming it, having it be the, it's like you're mostly water with impurities in it, right? So that's the nature of awareness. All you have to do is connect your practice with water, which is enough to get this. Like, to understand any concept, you have to have experiential understanding of something. So to really start learning anything at all, you have to go out and do it. So with this awareness stuff, it's like you can use you've gone out and done it already with water. It's exactly the same, very close to the same way. At least it orients the mind. It gets it most of the way there. Including the nature of the various powers of awareness that you can develop, right? The ability to be light, to be floaty, to be receptive, connected to everything that is within awareness. The same way that if you're in a pool, you can feel and sense the vibes and the energy and the waves of everything else, and and see yourself as the same, fundamentally the same thing over there, because you're not just the water surrounding and inside of you, like in this particular area of the pool. It's like you're the same thing over there with the other person, the other being. So it's that understanding of that, the true nature of consciousness, is like the door, one of the doors, the gates into unlocking ultimate power. The other thing is the breath, and so that's the ability to take outside energy in, to participate with it, to not be isolated from it, and then also unique. So to take that energy in from the outside and conform it or start to swirl it into your own unique particular vortex or vortice. And so that's breathing. So again, that has to happen at everywhere of your being. Everywhere that there's water, there needs to be breathing happening there. You don't breathe here into there. Everywhere breathes, and if it's not breathing, that part is dead. And so the like breath mastery is also something that's like very, very takes many years of practice to understand it. And so, but that breath mastery is the breathing or the receptivity in any skill, like the ability for musicians to jam with each other, to let the other person in, and to let that energy, the music, the notes coming out of the other person, control and dictate the movements of your body. That's breathing. Same thing if you were going to do it with fighting, writing, to let the archetypes and the imagination flow into your own mind, your own thoughts. That's all breathing, right? So to master anything or to have a skill, it's like it takes years and years and years and years of practice. But again, just like where water is the core of your being, this also is the however old you are, that's how many years of experience you have with a breath practice consciously. So when people say, oh, the breath is like the bridge or the transition between like blah 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 blah, and it's like, no, it's not a transition there, but it is the primary practice by which you can understand all practices. But all practices have to be breathed. Like you can't breathe from here into the mind or into the thoughts. They have to breathe from there. You can't breathe from here into the hands necessarily, like not into them. Like they have to breathe. And so this is the principle behind massage therapy. If you have good hands, are your hands breathing? Is your focus breathing? because you can breathe anywhere that you see. You can start to breathe, and when you breathe, it lets in the outside energy, and it kind of swirls it into that pattern that's creating the perception right there, be it your body or be it your visual scape, your landscape. So using this as a practice of like what do you do when you want to move more, like do more, like you have to figure out how to breathe here, but then you can apply the exact same breath to your hands, your feeling awareness, the floor, somebody else, far off visual landscapes, and you can breathe into them. And as you breathe, as the thing breathes, which is, it's a little bit like the the awareness running into the awareness. Like if I was in water, that shared motion between inside and outside is the breath. And with things, it's like holding your breath can let you do particular things, or it can potentially kill you. Or like doing extreme breath work, like obtaining extreme, like even getting money is, where's breath at that? Breath is that feeling there, and you can when you breathe in things, the substances of the events, is a little bit like breathing in potentially a drug or whatever. So you can overdo it with breath. You can get like almost too much talent or too much something, the same way that you can and like doing that kind of breath obesity or whatever, of like hoarding the breath, you can see is actually a panicked response. So it's like with the nature of being in, like, even though breath is the thing of life, and but when you're it can like over vitalize, right? You can like over vitalize fragments of the self, and it can cause like less breathing. Like everything you're doing is breathing, but like paradoxically you can breathe in a way. It's almost like you're breathing too much. You're doing too much. You can interfere with the breath can actually drop. You can actually like that's the nature of how people can like kill themselves basically with these practices. And so the same way that you can understand the nature of awareness, practices of awareness, by looking at water, with the nature of breathing practices, which is all practices. So all skill is that taking in of the phenomenon and letting yourself be an expression of that. So it's like we're taking in the air, the life. Sense perception is all breath. All of that is the outside moving the inside, so they're one thing. So listening, being, it's all breath. Music, all the arts, it's all that thing. And you go, okay, so how do I become a master in that? How do I have to know this before I know it. Like I have to be doing, and you do that through your own, this like central breath, or the most straightforward, the obvious, the duh breath is just that. So you look at all the situations of that, and then you see that, okay, that whole arena and those strategies and those techniques of breathing are applicable in study, in physical arts, movement arts, music, whatever. So even interpersonal relationships, whatever, it's all breathing. And so to understand the dynamics of learning that stuff, you can just watch it like, oh, how does the body do it? And however the body does it is how you do it in that particular activity. And it's kind of the same way, like this breath is the breath of breath, and then water is like being or awareness. It's like how your awareness is supposed to be behaving is similar to water. That's mastery of it. So it's like you have, once you intellectually deeply know, experientially know how to master awareness, and you experientially know how the breath operates, especially if you just watch it and leave it alone. You see you see as you move through different life situations, you'll see your breath change, and you can learn like what the body does under various influences or whatever, and then you can use that as a direct teacher to learn how to learn basically any of the other arts. Which I'm describing as just like, oh, that's ultimate power. And so that's yeah, that's the quickest way to ultimate power that I know of, is those things, because it's like there's no shortcut, so you do have to find ways where you did the work, and